lot of really hard work's been going into this. So I'm going to start over here with Jason and them to just kind of introduce yourself and what agency you're with, and then we'll kind of break off in two groups. And Jennifer and Pastor Chris will kind of lead you around the building and show you what's been going on behind the scenes and how far we've come for Bridge of Hope Academy.
From on an employee side of things.
My name's Jason Wickline. So I've been clean and sober now 6.5 years. I went through long-term treatment at the lowest point in my life when I was looking at 30 years in prison. I had lost my son to the state's custody for the second time. And today life is starkly different than that. Recovery has blessed me with a life that, in my opinion, I don't deserve.
The entire facility is all for community use. It's all for all the different programs and things that are happening through community.
I'm here this evening because being in recovery, one thing that gives my life purpose is to stay involved with the recovery community and to try to affect positive change wherever possible. And I think that the vision that they have with a recovery high school is not only highly needed, but admirable. And had I ever had an opportunity to be involved with something like that, as a student, I don't think that my life would have taken as many of the wrong turns as it did.
That will be used for community use. Then that entire back room will be a huge community room where dinners, meals can take places, churches can use it, community organizations.
I grew up with the DARE program, and you have a cop that comes into schools and basically gives you scare tactics and an education on how to get high. Is really what it was, and there was no follow-up to that.
So this room will also be used for the school, where if Prestera or another agency is doing counseling with students and they need to bring some students in for them, this room will be able to be at their disposal to use for those to do small group meetings in as well. This room is being set aside for Bridge to Hope Academy, and they'll be able to use it. We can set it up and structure it based off of how many students that they have.
You turn the page to, you're in an atmosphere of people that are in recovery, that have the resources that are available to you, that are peers that are in recovery and that understand the thought process, the emotions, the feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of not being enough, low self-worth, low self-esteem, and can relate and be a big brother, a big sister. I think that's priceless. It's absolutely priceless.
This kitchen also will be used for the students, because then they can bring the students in here, do hands-on things, teach the students through the school how to cook as well. So this is the only unfinished piece that's inside the building here, hopefully within a few days. So we're always 2 HVAC units away from having the building completely where we can occupy. When I heard about this, I immediately sent an email for that meeting and said, hey, but someone came to me and they were basically getting resources from Community Bridge. And she was listening to me talk about what we do in recovery and what our hearts are to help the community. And she said, you're saying some of the same things I'm hearing in the meeting. You need to get partnered with this. And she sent me the email. I hadn't even heard this was taking place. And I told her when she shared with me the heart and the vision behind this, I said, oh my gosh, I said, this fits. And I said to her, I said, what's the top of your list? I said, what do you need? What do you need the most? And she said, we have to have a place before we can even go after grants. We need to know we've got a location. I said, check the box. I said, we'll provide you space. So we're just honored to be a part of this, to see what happens, just to be able to love on and help our community.
In state code, you can't bill for PRSS.
I am Josh Sapp. I run Prestera's Region 5 Regional Youth Program. I cover 10 counties, and that's 10 school systems, right? 10 county school systems, middle school and high school. And we are seeing an epidemic right now of things like substance use and self-harm and all these issues in school. And the problem is, historically, we've always taken kids out of school when they're struggling. It's the same way with placements. You put them someplace, you get them built up to where they need to be, and then you put them back where they were initially. And then all of the lack of structure and problems at school, everything just comes back.
As far as all of any student that's going through recovery that needs the professional piece of the counseling, that'll all be provided through Prestera and other agencies. They will handle that. No one here in Community Bridge is a licensed counselor or can do any of that. So all of that will be separate and handled by those agencies. That's really the beautiful model of how this school is being set up, because this is a collaboration of the community. There has just been a swell that there's not a school like this in the state. It doesn't exist. And where we sit with addiction and recovery, those with substance use disorders, it's desperately needed here. And so to see the community come together, we're just honored to be able to provide them space.
So having a place where kids who are struggling and need like maybe some extra help or have substance use issues can go and be supported while they work on themselves and their substance recovery is just paramount importance. So like we can't get caught in the thing of like using this as an alternative to sentencing for like drug court or whatever. Like there has to be a willingness to do the program. Right, the idea of having a place where they can be kids, they can do school, they can learn things, but also focus on recovery and be around like-minded individuals. I can't even put into words how important it is.
And we have thousands of overdoses in kids that are coming through the emergency department and through EMS, under 18. And then what happens? Like, we're not tracking those. So if you come in with an overdose, you may go to treatment, you may go to detox. And then what happens? You go right back into that high school. So that's kind of what got this conversation started. Like, what's happening to these thousands of kids that we know on an annual basis are having overdoses under 18?